I'm here with Eve Sullivan and Shelly Tillerly, a dynamic team with Ally Beth Allman. Been in it forever. I mean, I can't recall. It's got to be over 20 years y'all been in the business. Am I right?
It has been over 20
Over
years.
20?
We met, our kids were at preschool together. We met and I was so jealous because Shelly sold real estate and I was in a corporate job and got the opportunity to go into real estate when we started working together 24 years ago.
Wow.
We were one of the first teams that worked together that weren't blood related or married, actually.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so common now.
Yeah.
Seldom do team relationship endure for so long. I mean, that's extraordinary. What is the reason you've been so successful at it? It's like a marriage.
Oh, for sure. We're like sisters.
We are.
Yeah. I mean,
We've been through
Y'all
some
do
ups
argue.
and
Y'all do
downs.
argue a lot, huh?
yeah.
Good.
No, actually, we don't.
we
argue
don't.
very
Oh, yeah,
much
not
at all.
sisters. It's not like sisters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we definitely, we communicate constantly all the time, which I think is part of our success because we're good at communicating with each other and with our clients.
And it's been a big part of both of our lives that our dads were very strong figures growing up. And so our work ethic is very similar. We both started working when we were probably 12 years old.
Too young.
Yeah, way too young. And because of that, I think it gave us this incredible longevity of just doing what we're passionate about and just putting our head down. And we never are looking at our past successes. We're always looking ahead, not in the rearview mirror. So I think that's super important for us. It's said a lot. We collaborate a lot on everything we do. One of us is always the lead, but we're always the backup for each other.
That's great. Well, I know your customers really trust you. Clients, they trust you. But are they aware of your extensive real estate background? I mean, you've built homes, you've done numerous flips, you've built condominiums, you remodeled. I mean, you've done so much. I mean, are they aware of that? I mean, and all that experience, what has that done for the benefit of your customers?
Well, it's nice because my background is I have a business degree. My mom was a decorator, so she was always experimenting on our house. My dad loved real estate, and so that's where I got my interest. He and I flipped a couple of houses in Dallas, and then I met Shelly, and it was just a natural progression. But we did develop, and we built 21 condos in the Park Cities, 3 different properties. I built it, I finished our house, designed it and finished it. And so we know a lot about just everything from the ground up with the house. We just don't sell real estate, pull comps and say, yeah, that looks great. This fits, the bill. So, and Shelly and I did a project together, a condo project. So we really know what it takes and really how a house functions in almost every part of it. And it benefits our clients during the inspection, I would say, the most.
Well, y'all have different personalities. I mean, how does that work, Shelley? I mean,
Well, I mean, Eve handles a lot of the business and she's better with numbers probably than I am. And I am from a teaching background and actually went to work for my English teacher from Highland Park, Phyllis Glover. And she was a great mentor to me and a great teacher. And that's how I got into the business. Plus, my dad loved to flip property and was very close to Ally Beth Allman. So they were like very good friends. And she still, treats me kind of like a mom. She's awesome. So I don't know, I just feel like it was kind of what I was meant to do. It was a good transition from teaching because I think that teaching teaches you a lot of the qualities that you need as a real estate agent. In fact, I think a lot of ex-teachers are real estate agents because you're good at counseling, you're good at problem solving, you're good at explaining. So I think that those are what I bring, and then Eve brings more of a business background than I have.
Yeah, a lot of negotiations on contracts when I had my corporate job and had to do a lot with numbers and spreadsheets. So I do the business things. And Shelly, and in our group, there's more of us. I mean, there's 5 total and, or 6 now, sorry. There's 6 total. And Shelly does really the teaching part of it. She makes sure that they know everything that has to be done to set up all the classes. making sure that they're brought up to date, and especially with all the changes going on in our industry.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
think
of,
actually our office manager considers us probably the best trainers of
I wouldn't
new
doubt it,
people.
because y'all are fastidious about everything y'all do.
Yeah.
You know, it's extraordinary. I asked you one time, what percentage of your business comes from past customers? You know, and you read statistics there. So after 5 years, you hope to get to 75%. And when I asked you, you said it was like 95%. I mean, that defies the odds. 95% return business. What is the reason you've been so successful at developing such a loyal client base?
I think attention to detail and again, communication. If somebody calls us, we answer pretty much immediately. If we don't answer immediately, we probably talk to them within the hour. Nobody's waiting to hear from us. So I think that is really one of our strongest traits. And we both are like that.
Well, you know, the industry is becoming so electronically oriented. I mean, everything's emailed, everything's generated by computers. Have y'all adapted to that, or do you still handle it the old school way, you know, touch, you know, picking up the phone?
We are very hands-on. And so we don't ever, the only time that someone might, our assistant might cover for us at a showing, but we don't have anybody else copied on any of our contracts. We disperse and disseminate all information. And so our clients know they get both of us, and one of us is a lead, like I said, but they get both of us. And so if one of us is out of town or not, you know, and able to reach us, then the other one will step in. And so it's really two of us, and it has been that way from day one. So we've kind of perfected working as a team.
And it's the perfect combination of embracing the new, but keeping the great parts of the old, because it is still about communicating like actually in a call with clients, not always text and email. There's a place for that, certainly, where it helps, but sometimes you just need to talk to people and they need to talk to you.
You know, obviously, you haven't really strongly embraced the social media world at all, but your business has not suffered. In fact, it keeps growing. So the old way must really work well for y'all.
We have actually embraced the social media. Yes, a little bit. Not as much as, you know, some of these younger agents, but we have embraced it. And Shelly actually is the one who's more creative, even though I have a marketing degree, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but she's the one who really is good at the social media, and she's good at ideas. Even with our gift, you know, drop-offs for our pop, we call them pop buys, but our pop buy gifts for our clients, she comes up with the ideas and we put it together, and they've been very successful. And it's just
we have a social media manager, but
Right.
we're good about giving her ideas and then she can implement them, but it does help.
You know, I've been doing it for so long. I know, 25 years, and you've been so successful at it. Are y'all getting tired?
Well, no,
You still
because
enjoy it.
we
You
still
still enjoy
love
it.
it.
Depends on when
You
you
still
ask.
love it.
We
That's good.
still love
Love it,
it.
yes.
Some days are better than others, but
that's-
that's where it's usually if I'm down, she picks me up. If she's down,
sure.
I'll pick her up. And so it's never we're both down at the same time
Yeah.
because it's of a situation. I mean, it's a lot of problem solving and critical thinking with this job and just trying to keep it all together. And I think the reason why our clients keep coming back is we want them to have a good experience. It's about a relationship and not a transaction. And because of that, we have bought a lot of things that weren't our responsibility, but we just do it because it's important. And it's important for people to feel good about when they move into a house or move out of a house.
So, you know, you've been through a couple economic cycles, especially the one in the past few years has been challenging, but you never had any really dips in your success. So you're not worried about the future. I mean, as long as you just stick to the old way of doing things, staying in touch, and you survived them all. In fact, you've done extremely well. I mean, what do you see happening in the fourth quarter of 2024 and say 25? I hate to put you on the spot, but if you had, what is your gut telling you?
I think it's still going to be a really good market. I mean, I think that it gets a little quiet this time of year. You know, a lot of people are out of town. It's hot. But then I still think that we'll have a strong spring market. And I think there are a lot of companies moving here, and that makes a big difference too.
It does.
I mean, I think it'll still going to be steady.
Well, I'm sitting on the sidelines because you read everything in the newspaper about the market, the economy, you know, world events, all these things, and you know, I know I need to make a move, but I'm reluctant to do it. What would you tell me?
Now's the time to buy because these rates have gone down and it's expected to go down again. And so all of the economists are not saying that prices are going to go down. They continue to grow, and especially in our market because we are diverse with our economy and the people that are moving here. So that drives demand and growth. And our market has been very healthy, and we're so lucky for that. I just think now's the time to buy.
I don't think you can wait out a market either. I think you've got to move forward, and it's one side's always going to be better than the other usually. It's hard. I mean, nobody can hit it perfectly unless they just get it lucky, but you can't predict that.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people will say that, but you know, you've been at it so long, you've seen it. You talking from a voice of experience, which makes a big difference. I mean, it's just not a gut, you know, an opinion. It's founded based on your experience. And that's good to hear. Do you see any changes in the customers or the, you know, buying public's perception at all?
I think the biggest change that I see is that where I was taught to buy a house that needs remodeling and that needs work because that would benefit you investment wise in the future, I would say that the newer, younger buyers really want everything completely done. They don't want to do any work. They want everything completely finished, looking like it's out of a magazine. And that is definitely the difference that I see.
And
So,
that's because of social media.
yes, for sure.
They scroll and they see these beautiful homes and it's like, I want that too. And now they're finding, I mean, even Amazon now on social media will come up with a product that looks like the more expensive version that you can buy at Costco or at
Wayfair.
Amazon or
Yeah.
Wayfair. Right. But we still are encouraging our kids when they buy a house to buy something that just needs work.
For sure.
And then they can do some elbow grease. They have some skin in the game. And then they're going to benefit big and make it the way they want.
But you probably have to hear from your customers, or, you know, parents saying, gee, how are my kids going to be able to afford a house tomorrow? You know, I mean, that's got to be common. I mean, what are you telling them? Because that's a real concern.
That they're going to have to look at other areas. And it may not be the neighborhood they grew up in right now. And it's not instantaneous. But also, rates are good. And they have some options in some other areas that I think are lovely.
There's some great up and coming areas.
There's
for
some
sure,
great up and coming.
with darling houses.
Well, do you have anything you would recommend to someone thinking about selling their home, thinking about buying? Any other recommendations you would make?
Let us come and take a look and give our recommendation on what they need to do to edit, maybe stage, or even paint, do some little light updating. And
Show ready.
yeah, show ready. That's right. And that's going to be the most beneficial thing for any potential seller, for sure.
You've been so successful at it. And everything you're doing is working for you. I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, you don't need to take any more training classes. You don't have to. What you've done is work, and you survived, and you've done it successfully. And you have to be complimented. You are becoming legends.
Our partnership is really good.
It is.
It's not always 50-50. A partnership, people think a partnership's always 50-50, but honestly, you know, like if I'm struggling with something, then Eve can be the 80% and I can be the 20%. And we do that for each other constantly, where
Right.
we're always evening each other out.
And the thing that I have always loved about real estate is no deal is exactly like the deal before. And you're saying we don't need to learn. We always learn
learn.
every single day on what I should have done differently on that deal. No regrets, but I learn and grow every single day. And that's keeps me going.
Those are the challenges we embrace.
Yes.
That's remarkable, because when you've been at it so long, after a while, you just sit back on your laurels. But obviously, you're not, because you continue to grow. So congratulations, man. Thanks for sharing your insights today.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.